Part of the BookFest adventure has been bringing folks together who have really helped and contributed not only to our event, but to the literary world as a whole. And that is why it is such an honor right now to present a salute to Wade and Cheryl Hudson. They are the honorees for the Honorary Achievement BookFest Award, and this is given to folks who have contributed with their within the industry, sharing their messages, sharing with the world, and really uplifting and spreading the written word in all of its glorious forms. Wade and Cheryl Hudson are the founders of Just Us Books, and Just Us Books happens to be celebrating its 35th anniversary as well.
Yay!
Wade and Cheryl, thank you so much, and congratulations on this honor.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Desiree.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much. We're so happy to receive this honor. And listen, we congratulate you on the wonderful work that you've done in such a short period of time with the festival, and we applaud you as well.
Well, thank you. You joined us in one of the very early iterations of the BookFest adventure. And at that time we were scrambling in so many ways because we had, the shutdowns happening and we weren't doing live events. And you were just so gracious and helpful, and everything that you're doing with your publishing firm, and you do educational programming too. You were just chit-chatting a little bit before we started this about speaking at schools, etc. So could you could you tell everyone, just give them a little bit of your background and your story about Just Us Books?
We'd be happy to. Well, a lot of times people ask us, where did the name come from, Just Us Books? And we have to say that it came from the two of us, just us, just the two of us. We were parents and publishing professionals too. Wade as a writer and me as a art director, working with trade, actually not trade books, but textbooks, and had a lot of good ideas about picture books that could be published, and looking for those kinds of images that reflected our family and our children. We found that there were very few books about Black children and their lives and experiences. So we decided to do a publishing effort, first as really grassroots and self-publishing, an Afrobet's ABC book with letters of the alphabet. And that was our first published title. It gained so much traction and so much support in our local community and in the national community that we said, well, we got something going here. We should bring some other books in. So we published Afrobut's 1, 2, 3 book and a book of Black heroes, and then others joined us. So that's Just Us, but the Just Us family includes a lot of African American published authors and illustrators. And we're now celebrating 35 years.
And actually, Desiree, when we started, as Cheryl said, there were very few authors of color, illustrators of color in the industry. The way the children's book industry and publishing in general uh, look today is so different from the way it looked 35 years ago. So I think that through our efforts at publishing and advocating for diversity and inclusion, that we've sort of helped to change the landscape. Certainly, much more needs to be done, uh, but I think we've made some progress, and I think that we played a role in helping to achieve that progress. Again, I must reiterate that a lot still needs to be done. The publishing industry still is roughly 80% white. Um, Authors of color don't get the kind of advances that white authors get, uh, generally speaking. There are books written by authors and illustrators of color don't get the kind of marketing push that white authors get. But there has been progress, and we must recognize the progress that has been made, because not to recognize that progress is to really not lift up and spotlight the hard work that has gone into achieving that progress.
I agree. Progress has been made, and there's still a long way to go. And over 35 years, you both have contributed so much to that. You're part of the reason the progress is where it's at today. I'm curious because you are looking forward and you're thinking about in 35 years, where do you hope, Cheryl and Wade, where do you hope that the industry will be for Black authors and other folks of color too?
Wow. We just hope that there will be much more individually and collectively in terms of sharing the diversities of stories. Um, that there's so many children in the United States that are not represented in textbooks or in trade books. So many individuals, so many unique stories, Native American, indigenous people, immigrants. And this is a country of immigrants. So we know what the diversity is. So I would love to see 300%, 1,000% more representation, particularly at this time. That's for the future. But at this time, when there's so much uh, backlash against diversity in some ways, we've got to be very diligent and vigilant about books in public libraries and in schools because there are movements to ban books, which shouldn't be. I mean, we should all have the freedom to read and to select books for ourselves and for our children. And unfortunately, there's a movement to erase things that have been made and done in terms of progress. So we've got to be really diligent. And I'd like to see 1,000% more books in the offering for all of our children.
And I think too, Desiree, that um, we have to look at it historically too. Um, when we started Just Us Books, we were not aware of all of the efforts that have gone forth 100, 150 years ago
Mhm.
to tell our stories, to define ourselves. And once we started Just Us Books, we started doing more research and found out that there were many, many other Black-owned publishing companies that were established in the 1800s and 1900s um, to uh, to tell our stories and to define ourselves and to bring about a more just and equitable society. And there have always been push and pulls, progress made, and then there's always the pushback. And so, looking at it historically, I think what we have to do is be more diligent and be more aware that an old saying, the struggle continues. We have to continue to push forward. Um, and as we make our contributions and help to move the ball down the court, um, at some point we're going to have to pass the baton on to those who are coming behind us. And those who are coming behind us must run their leg of the race the
Right.
way we've done ours. And as we continue to run the race, we achieve more progress. And the progress that has been made, even in our lifetimes, um, has been really amazing in many ways because the world that Cheryl and I grew up um, in the 1960s, late 50s, is so different from the world in which we live today. So um, the struggle continues, and we remain hopeful. And it is the progress that has been made that pushes us forward and lets us know that it will be better, even though we're facing some really challenging times now.
Yes, yeah. Book bannings and challenges. It crushes me because you do feel the slippage, right? And you
Yeah.
feel that there are forces out there, groups, organizations, political figures, what have you, that are subversively trying to impact
Mhm.
our world in a very negative way
Yeah,
by
and in many
using
ways they're
books.
succeeding. I mean, they are succeeding in many ways, and we have to continue to push back. But again, we are hopeful because we know that there are more people who understand uh, that it's wrong what they're doing and who are pushing back. So um, again, it's there are more concerned people today than there were in the 1960s during the civil rights movement. So that's hopeful.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on this award. Can we see it? Can you hold it up so
Yeah,
that everybody can get a look
can you
at
see
that?
it?
Yes. Magnificent,
Beautiful.
magnificent.
Yes, it is.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and such an honor. We thank you so much for recognizing the work that we've done. And again, I think we must um, recognize that there are others who have been carrying on this work along with us, and we must recognize them as well. It is a community of folks who are pushing for the progress that has occurred over the last 35 years that we've been in business.
Right.
Yeah. And thank you for the honor.
Thank you so much.
Cheryl and Wade, I can't think of anybody who is more deserving of this recognition. Congratulations, not only on this, but 35 years. Really quick, we still have just a little bit of time. We've touched on Just Us Books and everything you've done, but you both are authors yourselves. Can you each tell us about, I know you can't give the whole list of books, but your most recent titles. Could you tell us quick each?
Well, I'm going to hold up the ABC book because that's our signature title and the first one that we published 36 years ago. One of my recent books is a biography, a collection of books that was done. It's called Brave Black First, and it was done in collaboration with the Smithsonian, the National Museum of African American History and Culture. And these are 50 plus African American women who changed the world. That's the latest.
And my most recent book is called Invincible, Fathers and Mothers of Black America. And it's a picture book illustrated by E.B. Lewis that tells the story of how Black America was actually established and the folks who actually established it and the various institutions and organizations that form the infrastructure that we now know as Black America. And before that book came out, my memoir called Defiant, Growing Up in the Jim Crow South, was released about a year and a half ago.
He's been busy.
Yeah, so I've been very busy, and this book has won a number of awards, and it tells the story of a young Black boy growing up in the South during the heart of the Civil Rights Movement.
And together we have done 3 anthologies, the last of which is called Recognize. And in a way, it recognizes the advancements, the writing, beautiful craftsmanship, illustrations of African American and other writers who have been honoring the amazing work of Black life in America. So that's Recognize.
Absolutely amazing. Cheryl and Wade Hudson, you guys are both just incredible writers, authors. You're spreading so many wonderful messages. Thank you for bringing the world Just Us books and all of your books. And congratulations on being the winners of the Honorary Achievement BookFest Award.
Thank you,
so
Desiree.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you.